Last summer, I fell in love with a sentence. Mon juste. In French, this means the exact right word. I loved this so much, I tried to write it on my ankle with a sewing needle. Little did I know, pink ink is poisonous. I got rushed to the doctor, almost lost my ankle, and eventually was just left with a reminiscent scar. The point is, I had finally found the right words for me. I didn't ever want to have to let it go. I have always struggled with the definition of home.
When you were born, your dad and I lived in southeast Portland.
The place I was born, the place I currently lived, and the place that generated the least conversation. The only thing that I have are my memories. The way that I remember them. This is a search for my mot juste, my definition of home. If you had to pick 3 words synonymous with the word home, what would they be?
Secure,
Safe, cozy,
belonging,
welcoming.
and peaceful.
This wasn't going to work. I decided to look back through some of my memories to see if they could help me figure out how to define this word. Let's start with definition 1. I was born on September 15th, 1997, in a city on the west coast of the United States called Portland, Oregon.
When you were born, your dad and I lived in this little duplex. We lived in that house when your dad and I split up, and I was offered the job in Eritrea.
You moved to Africa, and that began a number of years between various countries.
And he was right. In August 2001, I moved to Eritrea with my mom. Eritrea is where my first real memories come from. My mom used to take me to school on this tandem bicycle she had. I would sit on the back and she would bike us through the crazy African traffic. Apparently, this is where she met my stepdad. After about 2 years in Eritrea, we decided to move, starting what I like to call the 2-year jumps.
I was offered a job in Pakistan,
Ethiopia,
Afghanistan,
a portion of a year again in Portland.
in Khartoum, Sudan, and you were so excited because you thought I said we were moving to Khartoum.
Sudan, Uganda, did I say Ethiopia?
To Ethiopia then. Your brother was born there, and then when he was 5 months old, we moved to Uganda.
This was my childhood. I had homes in all of these places, and none of these places at the same time. For my next definition, I wanted to see if the stories of my parents were concurrent with the internet's definition of home. The place where one lives permanently, especially as a member of a family or household. For someone like my mom, her home was moving every few years with her brothers and sisters in South Dakota.
I moved from small town South Dakota to small town South Dakota where people were born there, they lived there, they were going to die there. They had no need for a new friend. They didn't know what to do with a new kid. It was hard.
Great. Where are you from?
The Bronx. I was born in New York City. I was actually born in Manhattan, but our family lived in the Bronx. Bronx.
I envied him for having such a simple response. I was always a little jealous of people born and raised. They could walk down the street and point out their preschool and high school in the same couple of blocks. At parties, they would always know at least one person from their past to start up a conversation. I had a past that spanned for 2 or 3 years max, and 9 times out of 10 it was completely unrelatable.
Everybody had had the experience of being the new kid, losing friends because their friends moved, so they needed a new friend. It wasn't easy. Like, that was our life.
At the same time, I loved the adventure of my life. I loved being able to go on vacations all the time and see things most of the world could never see in real life. My mom and I would go on safaris like some people go to Disney World. While people were cuddling up at their grandparents' house for the holidays, I was sailing around the Caribbean with my dad, ringing in the new year on a swaying boat deck. Thinking back, I wouldn't have had my childhood any other way. I know this documentary was supposed to answer a question, but like I said in the beginning, I'm not sure if I know the answer yet. I think it depends. Right now, my go-to answer for my home is New York. I think a home is where you feel comfortable. It can be in a city, in a house, in a person. It depends on how central its significance is to your life. For a long time, I didn't know what my home was. I didn't have simple answers. A lot of my questions remain unsolved, but I think I know where to start. My home is in the people I love. My home is a place I feel safe enough to close my eyes and sleep at night. My home is my brother and sister. Home is when I can look at a picture and remember how it felt to be completely happy. My home is equally an inside and an outside. What is definition home? Think about it. Ask yourself how you define home. If it's easy, congratulations. If it's harder, well, and I feel like I've gotten to know the city like it was a person. That's a dumb fucking